to the Daily Upload here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason, and I want to talk a little bit today about what Mike Tomlin needs to do in week 6. Yes, I'm still living in the area of week 5, and I got to get out of that area. It wasn't a good one for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but what does Mike Tomlin need to correct here in week 6? The Pittsburgh Steelers historically have rode the back of a defense, have rode the mentality of being a tough, physical, nasty brand of football. And that is something that always has to remain. However, Mike Tomlin has to correct one thing this week. And I know many of you think it's a quarterback change, think it's a wide receiver pickup. Yes, personnel could be better, absolutely. But I got to tell you, folks, the thing that has to change this week before any of those things change is Mike Tomlin and his approach to offensive football. Arthur Smith, guys, made Ryan Tannehill a Pro Bowl player, a guy that led a high-powered number 2 ranked offense in the NFL. Ryan Tannehill, may I remind you of that situation? So I'm not thinking that Arthur Smith is the problem here, guys. The problem has to remain Mike Tomlin, in my opinion. Mike Tomlin has to change. And he doesn't need to change out of wanting to be that physical, nasty football team. That always has to remain, guys. It always has to be there. However, Mike Tomlin has to start being a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more intelligent in his offensive approach. He has to allow this offense to be different. He has to come into the 21st century of today's NFL, whatever may have you. He needs to come up with the times. He has to. He has to start playing a brand of football here that is what today's NFL is and what it's all about. And offensively, if you approach it with this ultra-conservative attitude that you're just going to win games with the defense, all you have to do is put up just enough points in order to just squeak out wins and allow teams to continually hang around. You're not going to be successful. And average, just not having a losing season, is not good enough. It has to be said. It's not good enough, guys. And this isn't to sit here and bash Mike Tomlin today. What we're talking about is what he needs to change next week, or this week rather. He needs to get in that room with Arthur Smith and say to Arthur Smith, this is your baby. You are in charge of it. I am not going to have my hand in this pot. I am not going to sit here and try to dictate exactly every move you make. We will discuss at the end of the week what you have put together. We will review it throughout the week as you are building that game plan. And then we will roll into the game with what you are thinking, with the design that you have put forth. That's the conversation he needs to have with Arthur Smith this week. He needs to allow Arthur Smith to coach this offense. He needs to allow Arthur Smith to guide this offense into the new wave of professional football and understand schematically what they need to do in order to make defenses start to respect that offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's not a Justin Fields problem right now, guys. And I know people want to blame the quarterback instantly for everything. And I have been one of the biggest critics of Justin Fields all offseason. But I am not going to pin something on a player that is not their fault. That is not their problem right now. Again, every player on that damn football field could have done a little bit better. Absolutely. That's just natural. But when it comes down to scheme and putting a player in the position to be successful, the Steelers are not doing that offensively. They are not. And Mike Tomlin has to change this week, guys. He has to be thoughtful in what he does. It has to be a more intelligent, more strict way in which he approaches this offensive side of the football, not being ultra conservative. I'm talking this game plan has to be ultra different, and be strict in saying that to Arthur Smith. Like, look, we are not going to approach this the same way we've approached it every week so far this season. I am putting the hammer down that I need to see something different on paper this week when we put this game plan forth. When we give this game plan to these guys this week in this room and on the practice field, it has to be different. And I will not accept anything else. I will not accept the same thing that we have done for the first 5 weeks. I understand our record is 3-2. We have stumbled the last 2 weeks, and we need to come out fast and hot on offense. And we cannot continue to struggle. We cannot continue to set the offensive line, who is beaten and battered, into bad situations and not give them a scheme that will help them. We will not any longer give Justin Fields the same basic vanilla bullshit that you approach him with each and every week. We are going to give him a set of calls that he is going to be able to check in and out of plays. He is going to be able to analyze defenses and get in and out of the correct offense to be able to make this offense successful. That is what we are going to do. We are going to allow Justin to play backyard football. We are going to allow him to get rid of the ball quickly. We are going to allow him to get out on the run and throw the football. We are going to allow him to run tempo. We are going to allow him to change that pace throughout the game. We are going to allow him to come out and use his flexibility and say, oh, right now, if we hurry the defensive set, we can get them caught and not allow them to substitute and be able to move fast and keep them on their heels. Oh, we're going to slow it down here. You got to allow Justin to do that, guys. This is imperative this week to get this done. This is something that has to be done. And the Pittsburgh Steelers know it. And I know Mike Tomlin has to know it. He has to understand it. But I think he lives in his fears. And I think he is ultra afraid of losing a game because of an interception. But guess what, guys? You got to live and die sometimes by the sword. And it is what it is. And you can't go out there and be fearful of what's going to happen. You have to just let it rip. Football is all about chemistry, all about pace, all about feel. That's what it's all about. And I too, when I coach football, I too fall into that trap that Mike Tomlin's in right now. I fall into that. Oh, everything got to be this strict, perfectly done. Everything's got to be just basic. Everything's got to be pinpoint basic. We can't get outside the box. We can't do anything different because I'm afraid somebody's going to mess up. And I do that too. And I have to remind myself. I did that this weekend, and I shouldn't have. And I have to remind myself that that's not how you play ball. In the games that you allow yourself to get into rhythm, you allow yourself to get loose and fast and free and play, use your athleticism and do the things that got you to the NFL, it works. And you have to allow that as a coach. And Mike Tomlin doesn't allow that as a coach. Justin Fields didn't lose that game, guys. It wasn't a Justin Fields problem. Yeah, he could have did a couple things better, but Mike Tomlin set him up to fail, my friends. Coming out each and every week and running plays that I can call from my couch that I can tell you what they're going to do because they are so plain and basic, and they've been doing this for years, no matter who the coordinator is, no matter who the quarterback is. They have had like 25 quarterbacks since Terry Bradshaw. Do we understand that? I think that's the number. I'm not sure 1,000%, but it's in the 20s. I know that. I know that for sure. And they've had one good quarterback since then that's truly been a franchise guy, and that was Ben Roethlisberger, and the next closest to that was Cordell Stewart, in my opinion. And Cordell Stewart was ran out of town by the fan base. Facts. It is what it is. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have a lot on their plate here this week, man. They're taking on the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, guys. And the Steelers are going to have to come out and bring their A game, or they're going to fall again to a team that they should have beat. And Mike Tomlin's going to have to come out here and be different. Mike Tomlin, if you are going to play Justin Fields, you have to allow them handcuffs to come off of Justin. You've caged him up too much. You've caged him up far too much. And everybody wants to say, well, Justin doesn't read defenses, doesn't do this. And guys, I told you that at the beginning of the season, that he had a deficiency reading defenses and doing those things that at a high level processing. But I felt like that after this season started, he was able to start to do those things. He was a little bit better in those actions. And you can't blame Justin when he is not allowed. He is not able to check into or out of plays to put the offense into a better situation. He's not allowed. He's not given that liberty. He has very few situations to where he can check in and out of a play. Very few. So how can you dog Justin Fields in his processing if he's not allowed to do it, if he's not doing it? No doubt it's not going to be there. It's not going to be there. Because why? He's not allowed to do it. So yeah, guys, that's just basically what this is boiling down to is Mike Tomlin has to change. What does he have to do, guys? He has to be different. He has to come out and be loose, fast, free, allow this team to play and not try to hold it back and not try to pin everything on that Steelers defense because it's not fair to them, guys. And you have seen 2 years in a row now what it starts to do to a defense. It wears them out. They are destroyed. And it's already happening a little bit earlier this year than it did last year. You can't do that if you're Mike Tomlin. You can't pin everything on that defense. They can't be expected to come out every damn series and be absolutely perfect because they know they can't give up any points in a game because otherwise they may lose. They have to be able to have a little bit of leeway here a little bit. They have to be able to have a little bit of room to breathe, guys. And if you're Mike Tomlin, everything can't be pinned on this defense, like I said. It just cannot. And you're hurting this defense in a big, big way. And you're getting it hurt. You're getting it beat up. This is a three-sided game, man. And all three phases have to work. All three phases have to work. And when one of those phases is out of sync, it affects the others greatly. Greatly. And it brings the whole team down, guys. It truly, truly does. All right, we're going to wrap this up, but that's exactly what I think Mike Tomlin needs to do this week is come out and allow this team to play free. And until he does that, guys, you're in for more of the same. Average. They're going to squeak out 8, 9 wins, 10 wins maybe. That's what they'll do. They'll beat some of the teams maybe that'll surprise you here and there. Maybe they'll come out occasionally and allow Justin Fields or Russell Wilson or somebody to play a little bit fast, and they get a couple points and they squeak out a victory. It's just going to be the same boring Steelers. They're never going to do anything different. Yeah, that's what you're going to get, guys. As long as this is going on the train or on the trail that it's going right now, it is what it is, man. And the Pittsburgh Steelers won't be any different, and you're going to see the same thing over and over, man. The story keeps writing itself over and over. It's like a bad TV show that's on repeat on your TV, on repeat, day in, day out. It's like almost like you live in Pleasantville. You remember that? You remember that movie, Pleasantville, or that TV show? To where everything was perfect. Everything was, plain, vanilla. It was repeated every day. They did the same things every single day, and the minute they got out of their comfort zone, it was like total disaster. And, it ended up being okay in the end, though, because they learned how to be free and learned how to do different things. And it ended up being okay. But that's exactly what I use when I think about the Pittsburgh Steelers is Pleasantville. The Pittsburgh Steelers live in Pleasantville, and they need to come out of it. And they need to figure it out real, real fast here before this season ends up being a complete disaster, guys. A complete disaster. All right, guys, join us tonight at about 7:45, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the show Steel City Live. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. I also want to remind anybody, too, if by chance in the live shows you get blocked or something like that accidentally because we're hitting buttons, please email me at MikeDropSports@yahoo.com. It has happened to a couple people, and I can fix that. I can go in and take and unblock you. That it's a complete accident, so I just want to remind everybody that has been an issue. But just please email me at MikeDropSports at MikeDropSports@yahoo.com, and I will definitely MikeDropSports@yahoo.com, and I will definitely get that taken care of for you. Yeah. It just happens sometimes accidentally. Some of our moderators accidentally are hitting it, and I hit it sometimes probably too. So it's definitely a complete accident. Yeah, and the jack wagons we know which ones those guys are, so we delete those guys. But yeah, make sure you email me. Make sure you let me know so I can get it fixed as soon as possible. Don't message me on social media or something like in the comments section because I might not see those guys. Especially if there's a lot of comments on something, or I don't leave my accounts like on there logged in to where I get notifications all the time. When I log in. That's when I can maybe see them, and sometimes I don't even get through all the notifications. So, and Facebook especially for some reason doesn't alert me. You could instant message me on Facebook. You can get a hold of me that way through Mike Drop Sports. I will answer you probably that way. I usually do see those. Um, or you could private message me on X. But the best way, guys, is MikeDropSports at yahoo.com. So look forward to some good stuff here tonight. We're going to have a good conversation. So until then, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports, guys. Peace.